We were married 7 years ago, in a frenzy of wild passion, romance, enthusiasm, and contagious dreams of a happy ever after. It took a while for reality to sink in, of course, for us to see past the romantic illusions we held of each other and ourselves. It was a shock when we started to realize that our idea of love was not our own, that we'd never even questioned what marriage was.
And he held my hand. At one point I looked down and I couldn't tell which fingers were his and which were mine. And I knew.
What?
You know,
What?
magic. It was magic.
Since childhood, we'd been preparing for the big forever love, for love as the answer to all our confusion, to all the horrors of a complex and challenging world, for love as the destination, not the journey. In a way, we were buying the idea of romantic love as the ultimate product, the product that filled every need, that made you feel whole and happy and gave meaning to your life. What did we expect of marriage but that which cannot be given by any words set at a stone pulpit? 100% certainty of enduring love. We expected marriage to enshrine love somehow, to embrace and enhance it.
We, princess, are supposed to live happily ever after.
Says who?
Do you know? I don't know.
Love is prescription, love is promise, love is possession, love is purpose, love is programming.
The fantastic level and the realistic level are the two levels upon which we live. But which is the real one, really? But when you live on the fantastic level, as I have more and more lately, but have to operate on the realistic level, that's when you get spooked.
We realized we were carrying a kind of script of love, inscribed deep in our psyches.
You complete me.
Of course, we couldn't escape our parents' marriages, our parents' notions and experience of love. Remarkably similar, both our sets of parents met young and have stayed married our whole lives so far. We are unusual in that way. Most people we meet have parents who've divorced, remarried, with multiple siblings from complex marital pathways. We learned some good things from ours: loyalty, tenacity, communication, and we learned some not so good things: self-denial, detachment, disassociation, how to bottle dismay and sorrow.
All my life, I've felt like somebody's wife or somebody's mother or somebody's daughter. Even all the time we were together, I never knew who I was.
Unconsciously, we absorbed the 50s mentalities that are still so prevalent in films and on TV. The gender war, the power of love, the importance of work, the sexual roles within the home, the need to suppress certain instincts and exaggerate others.
Better than those girls make at the office.
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
But there was a glaring problem with the model of love and marriage that we semi-consciously adhered to and inherited. Our parents were brought up on the movies. You could say they were one of the first human generations to be programmed by huge entertainment corporations. These corporations have made vast profits out of primary sales of films and from secondary sales of products and lifestyles that spun out of these films.
Well, I do want the platinum ring, and I want a fur coat. Not the mink one, but a fur coat. And I want a honeymoon on the Normandy, and I want an apartment big enough for your mother and the baby so the baby won't have to sleep in the dining room. You can get that for me. You can get everything I want, everything that's coming to me. But first you've got to get what's coming to you.
Movies manufactured a dream of life, a consumer dream of life that looked so seductive, so glamorous, so gorgeous. We simply had to have it, even if it destroyed the planet and our souls in the process.
My mother says we have nothing in common, but she's wrong. We have something very important in common, very much in common. We're the same kind of people, fundamentally. You and me.
The irony is that our parents were often parroting the values they had absorbed from Hollywood and TV also. So what we were left with was an increasingly obscure copy of love instructions that became twisted and distorted, like a high-stakes game of Chinese whispers. So if we're lucky, we learn a model of love that we can climb upon once we're grown. If we're unlucky, as many of us are, We inherit a flawed model of love. Love as blackmail, love as disguise, love as hurt and suffering, love as sacrifice, love as attack, love as defense, love as rage and despair and need, love as duplicitous as only a human heart can be, all twisted and confused, seeking light in dark places, always dreaming our celluloid dreams. But is that love? Love is encoded in the happy Hollywood ending of marriage? Could this terrible schism between fantasy and reality be one reason the majority of marriages now end in divorce? All our broken hearts burnt out on some faulty mechanism of expectations.
I knew the whole time that even though we were happy, it was just an illusion, and that one day she would kick the shit out of me.
Marriages don't break up on account of infidelity. It's just a symptom that something else is wrong.
Oh, really? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife.
This is not a marriage!
This hasn't been a marriage for years.
You selfish bastard!
Hey, what's your language?
Give him here.
The dreaded statistics show us that children of divorce are quicker to divorce themselves, quicker to run when the fragile structures strain. We notice our friends' marriages, many failing or failed. There's much anger, much hurt, much bitterness and despair. Many are no longer in relationships, living uneasy, lonely lives of longing for connection with another human. We notice the nervous truce of many marriages around us, the affairs, the subterfuge.
You're irritating me.
I love that you're not my wife.
I love that too.
The extraordinary lack of imagination in the way we've chosen to live. We decide to decode the myths, break through our programming if we can, really choose to be together, not just fall gratefully into each other's arms, not dream covert dreams, not just submerge ourselves in the quiet confusions and longings that so often characterize marriage. We spend a whole year consciously watching thousands of movies, thousands of adverts, thousands of television programs. We read every book we can on love, from philosophy to anthropology, sociology, psychology, all the ologies we can get our hands on, with history and poetry and religion thrown in for good measure. We have hard days of disillusion, hard nights of truth. We start to realize that we're not so much struggling with each other, we're struggling with a toxic dose of love poisoning, coming as we do from a culture that glorifies and undermines love in the very same cinematic breath. We realize that we live in a profoundly schizophrenic era. War disguised as democracy, economic enslavement sold to us as freedom, love cloaked in romance and fantasy. Life lived behind screens and removed from reality. Somehow our generation is caught between opposing concepts of love and marriage, and it's on this border that our hearts break, our friends' marriages dissolve, divorce becomes normal, not taboo. Misunderstandings and judgments become the order of the day.
Be a certain kind of person, Phil. A certain kind of wife that I thought she was supposed to be. And she just wasn't like that. She just wasn't like that. And now that I think about it, I think that she tried for so long to make me happy. And when she couldn't, she tried to talk to me about it and say, but I wasn't listening because I was too busy. I was too wrapped up just thinking about myself. And I thought that anytime I was happy, that meant she was happy. But I think underneath, she was very sad. Mommy stayed here longer than she wanted to, I think, because she loves you so much. And the reason why Mommy couldn't stay anymore was because she couldn't stand me, Bill.